This is Joyce, the voice of Joyce, and I am totally enthusiastic about preventing outbreaks of COVID-19. It can happen, and it can happen as fast as it's implemented. All we need is to change the model of the test. We could have a $1 a day test available to everyone in the United States, men, women, children, and they could test themselves at home using a simple saliva test and a strip that contains, it's a big concept, monoclonal antibodies that detect the infection and the presence of the virus. So if you're infected, even though the test is not 100% accurate, it doesn't matter because you can be negative today, positive tomorrow. You go back to work, you go back to school, and you'll know every single day whether you are negative or positive. If you're positive, you stay home. You call up everyone you know who you've been in contact with. You alert public health, and you quarantine for 2 weeks. But it's not like the entire population has to fear an unknown pathogen. We will have the method to know instantaneously, within 10 minutes, whether or not we're infected. We could go on with our lives. We don't have to retrofit buildings. We don't have to close schools or be online. Every kid of every age can take this test. You catch the outbreaks so early, they don't occur. Where did I hear this amazing information? Well, it's been out there for probably the last couple of days, but honestly, I heard it a couple of weeks ago when I was listening to a program, and Rutgers has the test. They've developed it. They're ready to go. It's been sitting at the FDA for 7 weeks. Abbott Labs has improved their test as well. That's what Donald Trump took every day when he was in the White House. He was monitoring himself with the Abbott Labs test. Now that test is really perfected, and if you monitor yourself on a daily basis, you know immediately if you're negative or positive. If you don't know today, you certainly know tomorrow if you've got the disease. We could even use this test in pools of people. So you go into a nursing home, you look at one floor at a time. Everyone takes the test. You see if anyone's negative or positive. There are no positives. Hey, that floor is clear. Relatives can see their parents again. And you don't have to worry about contaminating the entire facility because you'll know every single day who has the test and who is not showing symptoms but is spreading the virus. Those folks you isolate. The rest of us go about our business as usual. The ramifications are awesome. Certainly beats what we're doing today, and we don't know the results for 8 days. What good is that? We don't even know who's got the virus. We don't know who's infectious. And we have to think about how do we plan our lives differently. This way, we don't have to do any of that. We merely have to live. Sure, improvements that we have to make anyway. Will we need masks? Absolutely, they work because COVID-19 is indeed airborne. But basically, our lives will go back to normal. No need for everyone to be furloughed. No need for corporations to go bankrupt, because business will go back to being business. Do I think that we should still give everyone a basic living wage if they're 18 and over? And Medicare, Medicaid, employed, not employed? Absolutely. It's going to take us time to gear up even for this simple test. Plus, we've got to convince the powers that be that this is the right route to take. It certainly beats committing trillions to an economy that's going to require even more trillions later on. It certainly beats condemning people to certain death if they congregate and they can't self-isolate and they must work. This will stop an outbreak from occurring. Please, everyone, if you're listening, tell your officials you want this crappy little test. It costs $1, and we can all do it, and we can do it from home. And then we don't have to worry about who's connected within the next 2 weeks. We can finally work on solving all the problems that we know confront us. Don't believe me? Go look up Michael Mina at the Harvard School of Public Health. And I'd like to tell you a story about what I know about professional structures. When I was a young woman going for my PhD in neuropharmacology at Cornell Med School, I sat in on symposiums. The symposiums were about the breast cancer model. Pharmaceutical drug companies made drugs based on a very, very limited breast cancer model. Because of that, pharmaceutical corporations shelved 180,000 drugs a year. Can we be totally blindsided by what's obvious and simple? You bet. People like elegant perfection. That's not necessary in this case. In fact, it's going to cost us more lives and more money. Why do it when $1 will get us out of trouble, and a basic living wage of even $5,000 or $10,000 will cost perhaps $800 billion to $1.6 trillion and help 154 million Americans? Do both. Do the test for $1 a simple saliva test in your home, and the basic living wage, and let's be once and done. Get our country back on track. This is not something that is patentable, so the whole world will benefit from these experiments in technology and the latest scientific knowledge. It's hot off the press. It's the only way to go. I give it my absolute blessing, and if I could scream it from the rooftops and get to all the right people, I am trying to do so. So help me help you. Let's get this idea publicized, and the quicker we do, the quicker we can go back to work, back to school, back to concerts, and feel safe. Safe that we're not going to get this dreadful virus, because it will be in our population for many years. So I'm happy to bring you what I think is great news. Take it and run with it. Give it to everyone you know, and let's make it a reality. It takes time to scale up product, but we can do it. This is American exceptionalism at its best. Help me help you, and together let's publicize this idea so that we can live and thrive together. Bye now, and take care. Certainly, I'll see you next week, and I don't think there's anything more important to discuss right now. Have a blessed day.